Hello artful friends, and welcome to FanTea. In today's episode, we will be discussing the tea on shipping. Buckle in. In today's episode, I will be drinking from my very adorable little bee teacup, and I have hibiscus tea, or is it hibiscus, the biscus tea with some Clover, Oklahoma bee-made honey to sweeten it up. All hail the bees. Shipping. It is something that I have been doing since I was but a wee bab, brand new to fandoms, when I was just a really tiny, adorable child in grade school. And now I am no longer an adorable child, I am a grown-up, 26 years old, who has still enjoyed shipping. This is where the drama comes in. Now, before we get started, allow me to discuss some things by making some disclaimers. These are just my opinions. I am just an adult who has been in fandoms my entire existence. This is what I have seen go on. Fandoms used to be certain ways, handled certain ways. Now, they're completely different. So you and I might not agree. And that's okay. We are all allowed to have our own opinions. Let's just play nice, please. There doesn't need to be fighting down in the comment section with other people or calling names or anything like that. Let everyone just have their own thoughts and opinions about these topics that we all discuss on FanTea. But you can have discussions, just keep them nice. Thank you. Back when I started shipping, I was a young small child. My very first OTP was none other than the cousins in Sailor Moon. I adored Sailor Moon when I was a child, but I could tell that in Sailor Moon, the English version that they were putting out on cable here in the United States, that the two cousins that were Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune had quite a close relationship, if you will. And even as a child in grade school, I could kind of realize that, something doesn't seem so cousinly about this. I don't know if cousinly is a word, but it works for this situation. They just didn't seem like they were actually family. And I was hoping as a child that they were not family, because it was kind of a little confusing whenever you're a child, because you're sitting there going, wait, is that how cousins are supposed to react? Because I'm not gonna act like that with my cousins. No, we can stay kind of distant from each other's bodily parts. Just didn't want to be a part of that. But I started to enjoy them, and when I was a kid, we didn't necessarily have anything called censorship on the internet, so I was able to just type in their names, and I found out through typing in their names into Google that, they actually were not cousins in the Japanese version, the original version of that show, but, however, they were indeed lovers, which made me feel a whole lot better. There were also some characters that were made female that actually were originally male in the Japanese version, just so that they wouldn't be gay. So that's how I kind of grew up, and yes, I was raised extremely religious, and I did not believe in gay relationships being okay. However, I really did actually enjoy Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune together, and as a homophobic young child, I somehow made it okay in my little brain that, well, we'll just pretend that Sailor Uranus, because is very tomboy and very masculine, it's okay, that's a male character. Brah. Yes, I was young, I was dumb, I didn't fully understand how things worked because I was raised very religious, so I thought that all made sense. It does not now, but I thought it made sense, so I made it work. Then along came my very gay, couldn't get around OTP. when I was still in grade school, which was Hiei and Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho. And I loved Hiei so much that I have named my dog Hiei. I shipped them so much and just kind of was like, yeah, they're two males, and yeah, I'm still against real gay couples, but it's okay because they're fictional characters. Okay. Thanks, young self. That works. Whatever. I still don't know how I was homophobic as a child. The religious side of me. Oh boy. Now, I am an adult, and obviously I am fully okay with gay couples, and I do ship primarily gay couples. That's not because I'm just psychotic about gay characters or everything has to be gay. It's not that way, it's just in many animes, unfortunately, I haven't really found any straight couples that I necessarily enjoy a whole lot. I don't know why that is. I think because a lot of the time they're very stereotypical, and it's a lot of just, it feels forced a lot of the time of, here we have this, we'll just take even back from Sailor Moon, you have this blonde, ditzy female character who is just head over heels in love with this guy, and she would drop everything for him, and it's just kind of like this dumb, you're my everything and I can't exist and I'm a mess without you, that sort of, it's just, I don't necessarily like that, and that seems to be a running trend with some animes, so I don't primarily find a lot of straight couples that I ship. There are some, but not terribly many. Now, when I started shipping, it was a thing nobody really fought about. Now, they would fight on, well, I can't see that character with that character if it was not canon, meaning that it was not a part of the original story, such as Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune were pretty much canon in the original that they were in a relationship. But if, say, we took Sailor Uranus and Sailor Moon, who occasionally Sailor Moon does get a crush on Sailor Uranus, even in the original, people might fight about that. No, I won't ship them. They're not supposed to be together. Obviously, Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune are meant to be together. But if I were to say, hey, I ship Sailor Moon and Sailor Uranus so much, I would have been fought by some people. For sure. That was the most primarily large example of shipping wars that you would get. But some people do put themselves very much in the position of those two characters. So they may think, oh, this character's like myself and my partner, and so them being together is just beautiful because it reminds me of my personal life, and I just love that, and they can take that very personally if people are like, well, I don't ship them together, I can't see them together, that's stupid, and they're thinking of their relationship and going, but that's like me and my partner, so you can't see me and my partner together? How dare! And the shipping war will ensue from personal reasons. Now, let's get into the drama that is new to shipping in fandoms. The part that scares me a lot lately. As an adult, I am actually very scared to see this come about. It's primarily coming about on Tumblr. And that is that adults, actual adults in the real world, should not be allowed to ship teenage characters or young adult characters. They shouldn't be allowed to because, well, those are teenage characters. Why do you want anything to do with them? That's creepy. You must be wait for it, this is what they actually say. You may say it, and I know that you're gonna be mad that I am not enjoying this. Pedophiles. That's right. If you are an adult in fandoms and you enjoy two characters and ship them together, you will now be called by some people, not everyone, but some people, a pedophile. Yikes. It took a turn for the just blown up to a bigger picture than I'd ever seen it go. And I was going to make a video a few months ago about shipping, and I thought that it would be fun and FanTea to discuss shipping, and then that came about and I got scared, so I tucked away and didn't want to discuss it. But now I'm feeling braver and I have my adorable teacup, so I'm discussing it now. I don't even know where to begin sometimes with this subject because personally myself, I am an adult. I have been shipping my entire life, and just because I reached the age of over 18, it has turned into just a weird, awkward time for me. So I've been thinking about, am I a pedophile because I ship teenage characters? That's kind of how it's always been, hasn't it? Like, let's see, Sailor Moon. All of the characters are technically teenagers. They're not adults, actually. They're in high school. And I've been shipping them since I was a child. I've always enjoyed shipping them as a child, and then even when I grew up. What changed other than my age? The characters have stayed the exact same age forever. They're never aging up, I tell you. It's like they're not real. Oh wait, it's because they're not real. They can't age. Kind of like if you ship Disney characters. Snow White's like, what, 12 or 14? She's very young, but she's getting smooches by the prince. I don't know how that makes me a pedophile, because I'm not thinking about their bedroom life. No. I think that's where it comes, is mostly a lot of people are upset because there is fan art of characters that are teenagers. Personally, myself, it has been very difficult even before I reached the age of 18, because I don't enjoy that. I think that even if you yourself are the age of the characters, and you yourself as a teenager, when I was 12 and I would be looking at stuff and there would be inappropriate imagery of teenagers, such as back in my day whenever there was no censorship on... There was no safe search, let's just put it at that. There was no safe search on Google, so if you typed in 2 characters' names, be prepared, you were going to see them bang. Well, child pornography. Even though it is drawings and it is art. In some states, in my state, that was legally seen as child pornography. Alright, well, say you're that age and you do enjoy the fan art, or you do draw the fan art. Here's the deal. Educate yourself on the law in your state. And then the law in your state is only held for your state. So if you put it out on the internet, guess what? Now you've broken the law in different states. I digress about legal issues. I do believe in protecting teenagers and children. Fun fact, I used to actually teach safety classes. And if you're not familiar with what a safety class is, it was about, hey, if so-and-so is going to try to snatch you or take you from somewhere, here's some self-defense moves. And just things to look for, teaching kids of what is not okay. Stranger danger, but we don't believe in stranger danger because not all strangers are evil and horrible. But we do have those bad seeds in the apple barrel. And yes, it can rot out one apple, but that doesn't make the whole barrel rotten. And I use that metaphor for even this situation. Even with video games. Violent video games do not make school shooters or mass shooters. They don't. Yes, there can be awful, terrible imagery and violent things where you could go shoot up a place and whatnot, and yeah, that's for everybody to interpret differently. But from the FBI's thought point on looking at the percentages and all the numbers and whatnot, it does not actually make people go out and do that. People make themselves go out and do that. And yeah, they may have played a video game before, but that's not forcing you out to go do bad acts and deeds. Much the same as shipping. The way you ship is how you ship, and it's not going to make you go out and do something nasty just because you enjoy fictional things. There's a show that was on TV called Game of Thrones, and they did age up a character who was very, very young and was actually doing stuff, very, 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 very detailed stuff with an older character, and that is in literature. I am illiterate. It is there, but for this show, they aged her up. Does that make it better? Does that fix anything? Who knows? I think it was correct that they age up, but should the book? I don't think so. I think it builds to the character. Even though I'm not agreeing with that ever happening in the real world, I don't agree with a lot of things that happen in that book in the real world. But again, it's not real. It's a fictional universe. Nobody's actually being harmed. And when it comes to seeing ships that make you uncomfortable because they make you feel like you're having to always remember whenever you see that ship about a abusive relationship that you were in, because I know that we can think of, by looking at two characters together, it may remind us of a horrible situation that we have been through. I have characters and ships that do that, where I will see them and other people ship them and they like it, and I'm like, I can't. I just can't. It makes me think of reality. It makes me think about what has happened to me, and I don't want to think about that stuff. But I'm not going to go around and tell every single person that they're wrong and evil for liking that. I'm going to just choose to, I personally myself cannot ship it, and I will not ship it. But if somebody else is comfortable with it and they wouldn't wish it upon me, that's the other thing. So long as they can justify of, well, I don't agree with that actually happening to somebody, but I like it happening to a fictional person. Because when you're a writer, I used to be a writer, your whole goal with characters sometimes can be to see how much can they go through before they break. But much the same as somebody who's writing a murder novel, they're not gonna actually go out and murder somebody, but they may really think about, like, I wonder what it does feel like to be stabbed, or I do wonder, so that they can describe it in their book, and they may fantasize very hard about what would it actually feel like if you did take somebody's life. And it doesn't mean that that murder novelist author is going to actually go out and do those things. Now on to an awkward one. Alright, so this one, I know that with a lot of these, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I am going to say that fantasy versus reality. Okay, but this one to me is something that I truly cannot seem to get behind on shipping. I will still hold firm in the fiction versus reality. You know what, you do you in the fictional world, but let's just say it. There are people who will ship bestiality, and that makes me very uncomfortable. It does. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. If you personally ship bestiality, such as like furry, or just people who screw animals like octopuses, or all sorts of animals, non-consenting beings, or maybe in fiction they are consensual beings, but does that mean that somebody themselves is going to start looking at their dog in a different way, or looking at the octopus at the supermarket differently? You don't gotta do what you're fantasizing about. Or, there's this thing called Bad Dragon. Not a sponsor, not endorsing, not endorsing. There is a place called Bad Dragon, who I know plenty of people, because I'm in the fandom world, I know plenty of people who buy things from Bad Dragon because they have things such as octopus dildos or whatever dildos, like things that make them think about what they're kinky into. And you can get your kicks on horses safe. Seeing as there are so many different types of shipping categories, I thought that we would also discuss one that does put me very much in an awkward place to discuss. Incest. Shipping incest. whenever you're watching Game of Thrones, you may actually ship some incest. Or incest may be very, very, very triggering for you. The studies do say that you are more likely to be harmed by a family member. I have known so many, unfortunately, I've known so many people who personally themselves were very horribly harmed by siblings, or by parents, or by uncles, grandparents, family members of all types. And I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly also if somebody under the age of 18 has been harmed by somebody over the age of 18, or even willingly consented. I have actually been in a position where I had to deal with that with somebody that I very much cared about, that they were in a relationship, a committed relationship, a consensual relationship with somebody over the age of 18, and they were very much not over the age of 18. I don't take these things lightly. I don't. But again, in the world of fiction, so long as you know the line, and you better know that line. Where's my OTP? Oh, sorry. Let's discuss relationships, shipping, that are not the romantic type. Nowadays, shipping can be any type of shipping. They're just friends, or they just have a very, very close relationship that's not overly romantic. Is that still a ship? In my opinion, yeah. You know what? There are all types of relationships, and shipping, just a short for relationshipping. So, yeah, I don't see why not. And I know that it's a heated debate, and I don't want to get way too into it, because I don't think that it's that big of a deal. I know that I've been discussing a whole lot of fictional shipping between fictional characters. However, there is a side to fandoms that do involve actual people, aka band shipping, actor shipping, YouTube shipping, a lot of shipping that does involve actual human beings, and this is where the blurring the line between fiction and reality becomes very sketchy. I have known people who do ship band members together, where they will write fan fictions of the guitarist and the drummer doing it, and the most awkward for me was with My Chemical Romance, someone who would ship the brothers together and write fanfiction about it. For me, I found that very awkward and disturbing. Now, if they were fictional characters, I probably wouldn't have found it as awkward and disturbing, but because they are real-life human beings, I worried about how they might feel about themselves being depicted in that way, and I do not feel necessarily that it is correct for somebody to make that judgment call about them by writing a fanfic about them without their knowledge. For me, that's kind of awkward. I know that for myself, there have been fanfictions written, and it was a little awkward whenever it was sent to me to read, because I personally will never be with that person and do not wish to be with that person. So it was very icky, disturbing, and didn't like it so much. Now, I do know on YouTube, there are some YouTubers who will use it to their advantage, that their fandom does ship them together, aka Dan and Phil. Dan and Phil are not an actual couple. They are two males who do happen to live together, but as far as they've ever said, they personally are not together. However, they will use the fact that their fans enjoy them so much together in that way, they will play off of that for benefit by making videos that will get more views by the shippers of them. And whenever I was growing up, it was Smosh, Ian and Anthony, and they knew very, very well that they were having fanfiction written about them, and so they would make videos occasionally reading those fanfics, and occasionally get very, very ill from reading them. For me, I do not believe in shipping actual people. However, if they have stated that they ship themselves and that they are okay with people shipping them, then I don't see a problem with it because you have consent from the actual pair. So if Dan and Phil are like, you know what, it's gonna happen, you guys can ship us, that's fine. Okay, then I don't have a problem with it because all parties who are involved are consenting. But if it's people like band members who may not even know about fandoms and that people are wanting each other to do it, like two brothers banging in the dressing room or the green room, perhaps it shouldn't be done because these are real life people who have to potentially read these situations about themselves, and that may be very awkward, disturbing, or stir up some issues between them. So use your own discretion when you are shipping real life human beings. That's my opinion on that. Another form of shipping that involves real people only involves one real person, and that is called self-insert. That sounds bad, but that's what I've heard it be called, so we're gonna go with that. Self-insertion with a character. That sounds even worse, but we're still gonna have to go with it. This is when someone ships themselves with a fictional character, such as myself shipping with Shu Sukiyama. Self-insert. This is when somebody takes themselves, writes a fanfic, or says that this is my husband, waifu, whatever, and they ship themselves with that character. How do I feel about that? Well, it doesn't hurt anybody. Now, I, in my mind, know for an absolute fact that he's not real. He is just a character. I also do know that he is an absolute terrible person, but I love him. But if he were to come to life in reality and be as bad as he is, well then, I'd kick that boy to the curb. Get out here, boy. I'm sorry, baby, I love you. You're a fictional character, so I love you. It's okay that you're a bad boy. I love you for being a bad boy in the fictional world, but not in reality. You be bad in the reality, we gon' have problems. Got it? Got it. Thanks. So, I feel like self-insertion isn't that bad when it comes to shipping yourself with another character, because so long as you're doing it safe and sane and you're very well aware that this person will never actually be able to love you because they don't exist, I don't see how that's a problem. Enjoy it. Now, I do see that there is a lot of hate when it comes to self-insert fanfics or self-insert fan art, and I don't think that the hate needs to even be a part of it. I think that it's absolutely wrong that people would be like, oh my god, you're such a weeaboo because you're sitting there putting yourself in there, blah blah blah. That's just wrong. Like, if somebody's putting themselves, you don't have to read it. You don't have to look at it. Just be like, okay, somebody wrote a self-insert. I don't care to know about their to-dos with a character. So just leave it be, move on to whatever you do enjoy. Don't leave a hate comment and waste your time on it. It's not worth it at all. This is the end of my tea for today. Thank you all very much for watching. Again, these are only my opinions. You are free to discuss down in the comments below your thoughts and opinions. Just again, play nice. Thank you all very much for watching, Fan Brews. If you have not already and you would like to become a member of the Artful Friends or the Fan Brews for the FanTea videos, please do hit the subscribe button down below, and to be notified of when I upload yet again, please hit the bell down below as well to be notified. Thank you all very, very much, and I hope that you have a very amazing, hopefully romantic day. I know I will.